Like this cute sticker that my friend got me. Isn't it the cutest thing? Welcome back, you guys, to another video. Today, or basically the premise of this video, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to record. I want to get in a couple of books in this video, at least like 3, maybe 4. That's kind of like what I'm aiming for, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing today if you haven't already figured it out by the title of this video. We are going to be mood reading. I have a couple of books that I've been wanting to read that have been on my TBR that I've started and haven't really finished, or that I'm kind of like halfway through, or that I recently started, or that I want to watch because of specific things like TV shows and movies that are coming out, or that are already out, but I just want to read the book first. I know it's a lot to get into, but I kind of just want to show you a little bit of the options that I have for the books that I want to read in this video. The first one is actually on my Kindle. It is Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney. I already started it and I'm kind of creeped out by it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of creepy, the setup and the way that like this married couple like talks about each other. So it's interesting to kind of read from both of their perspectives and see like where the shift happened in their marriage. It's been kind of simple, straightforward, super interesting, super ominous. Like, the vibes are totally off in this book and I absolutely love it, because what is Miss Feeney doing if not feeding us what we need to be fed? It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So disclaimer, hey, disclaimer, I do not read Colleen Hoover books. The only other book that I've read from Colleen Hoover has been Verity, and it was creepy, it was super weird. It was one of those books that I can't really get out of my head. Verity is in fact the only other book I've read by Colleen Hoover. I'm intrigued to see like what this book is about, because I know that this book hit book talk and the book community like there was no tomorrow, and the fact that it's being made into a film is also super interesting to me. And I'm the kind of person that would prefer to read the book before watching the film adaptation or TV show adaptation. So for me, this is gonna be, it could go one of two ways. It could go extremely well or it could go extremely bad. So I was reading and then I fell asleep. So far it's a little strange, like I'm not gonna lie, these characters are a bit weird, but I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna give it a shot, only because I do want to watch the movie eventually when it comes out. It's a bit intense, I will say, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see how it goes and I'll let you guys know once I get further into the book. I'll check in again, but for now, just gonna grab like a little snack, gonna grab my water, and just gonna play this playlist while I read a little more. So next morning and I am still reading It Ends With Us. I don't know if I want to switch just yet. I feel like this book has potential. I was looking at reviews last night before I fell asleep and I was like, okay, like the reviews after reading them made me feel a little better. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna keep reading it. And honestly, it's such a short book. Like it feels like such a quick read, but I kind of just want to update you guys on where I'm at right now. I'm on chapter 8, and in chapter 8 we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle, if I'm being quite honest, because it seems like our main character is wanting something, but she's denying herself of it. And on top of that, the main guy, I guess, I don't know if there's two main guys, but one of the main guys, Ryle, he is boiling my blood. He is so annoying and he's so needy and desperate for Lily, and it's just like bothering me a lot. Okay, if you're flaunting that you have a person for your needs, or like a person for every time you have a need, then what's the story with Lily? Like, why are you disturbing her peace? Why are you interrupting her flow? Why are you just in her way? He is an obstacle, you know what I mean? That's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like Ryle is an obstacle. And so in this current chapter, she's trying to figure out what her relationship with Ryle is, but then we also get the other aspect of it, which is like her emotional attachment to this guy named Atlas. So I think that this is very much getting to a point in the story where she's wanting Ryle and she's wanting to pursue something with Ryle because of his persistence and his determination to just like be with her. But then we also have Lily longing for Atlas, and it's kind of dangerous territory if you think about it, because if Atlas is someone from her past, like, mama, why are you still reading up on a man from your past unless you're not really over that man from your past? Yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say in terms of what's going on in this book, or at least what my thoughts are so far on this book, because it's giving confusion, it's giving I don't know what I want, it's giving girl where your head at, you know, like it's giving all those things. Kind of worried. I'm kind of not worried because I know Lil Mama's gonna figure it out. You guys, I love Atlas because I'm uncomfortable right now. Like, you guys, I wish I would have recorded my reaction, but I had just stopped recording at that moment. But girl, when I tell you that there was a part in this previous chapter where I literally had to like I needed to take a moment, you know, because it was just so intense, and I was like, the audacity of this man is ridiculous. So that's it. That's my update. My update is that I love Atlas and I love Alyssa, and I wish that the book could revolve around only Atlas and Alyssa. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of intrigued. So I'm gonna keep reading just because I want to read more about Atlas and I want to see like what happens with Atlas. And I kind of wish that we had Atlas's point of view in this book. Like, this book would be so much better if we had Atlas's point of view. I don't know why. Like, I'm thinking about that now and I'm like, man, I would really love to read Atlas's point of view. So you know what, I'm gonna keep reading and we'll see when the next update will be. But I'm about 55% into the book, chapter 17, page 209. So the quote says, it was said by Atlas, and it says, "In the future, if by some miracle you ever find yourself in the position to fall in love again, fall in love with me. You're still my favorite person, Lily. Always will be." The way I'm absolutely wrecked right now. Okay. The book really did not disappoint. It really, I know, Chico. I'm very proud of Lily. Like, I am extremely happy that she made the decisions that she made in this book, in this story. I think that she finally was able to step into that confidence and into that feeling of like, okay, I know that what I'm doing and the choices that I'm making and the decisions that I'm laying on the table are for my own good and for what comes next. So overall, I don't know, I haven't decided on a rating yet, so I might give it a rating later, but yeah, a good first book to start this video with. Even though it was starting on technically like a sad and intense note, I think that it was a good choice. So I kind of want to move on to my Kindle now. Morning, everybody. I really want a coffee, so I'm gonna make a coffee, but before I start doing that, I want to give you guys a little update on where I'm at in terms of reading Terms and Conditions. Currently on chapter 28 in Terms and Conditions. We've already established that they have feelings for each other, but they haven't really like told each other that they have feelings for each other. And so there's like this whole thing going on that people are like speculating that their marriage is basically fake. Pretty good so far. We're getting to the point where they're kind of like feeling all this attraction for each other, but they don't know what to do about it. And so the tension is crazy. I do have to do like computer work, so I'll probably do that while listening to the audiobook, and then I'll probably pick up my Kindle a little bit later. A couple of things have happened since I last updated, and quite honestly, like this last part of the chapter like really got to me, because you can tell how much they care for each other, and you can tell how much they're willing to not risk, because risk is not the word, but you can tell how much there's like unspoken love there, like not only attraction but unspoken love, like him getting there and seeing that she stayed up until he got back and ended up falling asleep waiting for him, and then him like picking her up and taking her upstairs and like just like cradling her and like making sure that she's safe and loved. Like I don't know why, but that just made me like so emotional. I think the biggest thing here is when they realize that they have feelings for each other, or when they realize that there's something there. It's the way the demeanor changes for me that really like did something to my heart. And this is the best feeling that I can get from a book, because I can visualize all of this happening, and I can see all of this happening in reality as well. Like this is not so far-fetched and so dramatic that it's like annoying, you know what I mean? It's actually heartwarming, and the scenarios are, some of the things that happen like with the dad and everything are kind of dramatic, but in terms of like the love and the romance that's brewing and that's developing and that's forming between these two characters, it's very realistic. And I can honestly relate to Iris as a character, and I can see, not in everything, like not in childhood or like in lifestyle and things like that, but I can see like where she gets certain fears and certain needs and certain beliefs from. And so for me to see how she's also open to changing that because of Declan, hopefully I get to like about 80%, 85%, and then tomorrow I can finish this book. But as of right now, book 2 is just as good, if not better, than book 1. And I didn't think that that was going to be possible, and that just makes me even more excited for book 3. It really truly does. All right guys, back with another update. It is currently 2:04 and I had some computer work to do, but I finally finished Terms and Conditions, and when I tell you, the way that I teared up was insane. I don't know what it is about me that I've been reading books that have just made me emotional, but if I'm being quite honest, I have thoroughly enjoyed the books that I've been reading as of right now. I'm not sure what I want to read next. I kind of want to read like a physical book, but at the same time I also want to read like a Kindle Unlimited book, just because it's like faster and quicker. I can either continue reading Rock Paper Scissors. I also downloaded It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, so maybe that could be like another light read that I can pick up. And then I'm thinking in like physical books, I don't know, I'm gonna go to the library today, but I want to be strategic about what I purchase. Either purchase Summer Romance and Reckless, which is the second book in the Powerless series. That's kind of like what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like light fluffy reads. I'm feeling like romances. I want to be like swooned. I'm feeling that kind of vibe. I will be back with my decision, whether it be like later or in a couple minutes. I don't know. Yeah, so far I've had some really good reads in this video, and I just kind of want to do like 1 or 2 more books. So I'm not sure like where I want to go. I'm not sure what route I'm willing to take. I wanted to come back and update you guys because I do have a Notion page that I update based on the books that I've been reading. And so because I finished my second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, I can literally go into my series tracker page and basically check it off. So there you see my Dreamland Billionaire series, and then there is Terms and Conditions, and I'm gonna go ahead and check it off. There it is. Looks gorgeous. I'm so excited to continue to read the different series that I'm in the middle of. After seeing my series tracker and seeing like how I am so like in between multiple series, I'm kind of wanting to do a continuing series I'm in the middle of video, just so that I can like motivate myself to finish some of these books. Hey besties, I am back with another update and it is currently 11:33, and so I have some grand old news that I want to share. Your book bestie went to Barnes today and she bought herself some books. I'm so excited to share the books that I got because I do believe that I went into Barnes & Noble today with a mission. But I was also talking with a friend and I was telling her how I hadn't bought a book from Barnes & Noble. Like, I had visited Barnes & Noble and I've had perused, but I hadn't bought anything since probably October or like end of November of last year. I do remember it was very early on, like when Black Friday was happening, so it had to be like November the last time that I had gone to Barnes. And so I'm so happy to share the books that I got because these are going to be the books that I want to be reading. First book that I picked up was none other than Reckless. This book has been on my TBR ever since I found out that Laura Roberts was releasing Reckless. And when I tell you guys that this is what I've been looking for, it's literally what I've been looking for. I have heard some mixed reviews and I've heard like a brief synopsis of like some people's opinions about what happens in this book, but I'm just excited to get back into this world. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I have not read a single book that was written by Abby Jimenez herself. However, I am so excited to get into her books because I've heard that her writing, her characters, her storylines are just like really good storylines and they're really well written. The characters are really fleshed out. And this looks like a pretty thick book. I think it's about, I think it's almost 400 or a little bit over 400 pages. But what I do want to say is that I've been wanting summer reads. I don't know what it is about this summer in particular, but I'm just like on a summer vibe. However, I love the fall season. I'm an autumn girly for life. So I will be decking out for the fall season, especially in my new home. But for the time being, I do want to enjoy summer and I do want to soak up everything that's left of the summer. I want to be outside reading. I want to go to the beach. I want to be by the pool. I want to be just refreshed this summer. And so I thought that this book was perfect. I thought that this is like the perfect read to kind of like give me that vibe that I'm looking for. And so this is the first book that I picked up and I'm really excited to finally read Abby Jimenez's work. Like I said, I haven't read any of her books, but I've heard none other than great things about them. So this is definitely the first book that I will read from her and I am ecstatic. I can't wait. It is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I believe that's how you say her name. And with this book, I have never heard of this character before. I have never heard of Annabelle Monaghan before. She is a new author for me. However, I was looking at Destiny Sidwell's video and she was reading this book. She was eating it up and she said that this book it has amazing quotes. I am excited to get into this book and I think I'm gonna start with this book if I'm not mistaken. It's short, it's quick. I'm going to have my pen handy, my post-its handy. Like, I will be annotating and I will just be thoroughly enjoying these summer reads. Please sign me up to all of her books. Just off the first chapter, I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading though off camera and hopefully I get a little further into it. It's already really late here and I do have to get up early. I have a Pilates class tomorrow, and so this is definitely what I was in the mood for. Like, I know that this is a mood reading vlog, but this is definitely what I was searching for in a book. Right now I'm on page 30, chapter 5, and we have officially met our male love interest at the dog park. And like, what better way to meet your love interest than in a dog park? Let's just put it that way. It's like the serotonin boost is like 500%. Some of the things that are happening in this book, some quotes, I've already underlined like a couple of things as well, and the depth that our main character has for being a mom and going through this loss, not only personally but also like just in life in general. Like, life will always kind of show you a set of circumstances, and we have to choose how we want to show up for those set of circumstances, especially as a mom. Alright guys, I look a little rough, but I wanted to say that I finally finished Summer Romance, and 5 stars. That's literally all I have to say. This book was jam-packed with such beautiful quotes. It was such a good representation of what it means to kind of like walk through grief, or like process your grief. It touched upon the joy that comes after sadness. It talks about what it means to kind of get your life back together, what it means to find yourself again after certain losses, after you think that you've lost yourself. Another big theme is like taking risks. Like, what does it mean if I do this? What does it mean if I do that? Like, what ifs? Kind of turning that into like an I did kind of situation. And so this book really touched upon a lot of wonderful themes. The story in itself, the romance in itself, is very simple romance. I think that there's something so beautiful about that, because it really depicts that not every romance or not every story has to have like an explosion, fireworks. Not every love story has to be so dramatic and so big and filled with grand gestures. Like, a love story can be as simple as, you know, you are building your own experience and I'm just here to support you in that. It shows a different aspect of what it means to be romantic. And I think that Ethan, which is our main male character, the love interest in this story, did such a good job of guiding Allie without being like overbearing and without stepping toes, if that makes sense. Like, he pretty much let her find herself again, let her be herself again, let her feel like herself again, and he was just there every step of the way, kind of guiding her and holding her hands and giving her like little nudges and reminding her like, hey, this is your life, this is your experience, you get to decide like what you do with it. And so I think that Ethan portrayed that really well as a male character, and I think that Allie was very receptive of that as well. I think that she is someone who was strong at one point in her life and kind of faded away and lost her sense of self, because, you know, she's been through a marriage and 3 kids, and now she's going through a divorce and loss and like all these things. And so I think through all of that, she forgot what it meant to like choose herself, or to choose joy, or to choose love. And so I think that it was a good representation, a good balance of like romance, but also finding joy in everyday things, finding love in everyday things, and also accepting that life is fragile, that life will pass you by. Overall, so many tasteful quotes, so many like heart-wrenching, kind of like gut-punching quotes that make you think really truly about life and the fragility of it, and how quickly time goes by. And so, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I would recommend it to anybody that, you know, is interested in it. I gave it a 5 stars. You probably will too, depending on, you know, what your taste in books is. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about summer romance. I think it is time to end this video. I feel like this was a successful reading vlog, and I feel like the books that I read really kind of kick-started that feeling for reading again. I'm just really excited to continue reading and to continue making videos for you guys. I know I was on a bit of a hiatus, and I truly apologize for that. I will be uploading a video every other Saturday within the month. And so I have a couple of videos planned, and I'm hoping to get those out for you guys as soon as possible. But as always, stay tuned. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe whenever you have a chance. And I am so glad that you're here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, you guys.